Night draws near in Al-Qaim, and the Iraqi border guard casts a watchful eye towards Syria. Militants from the Islamic State group present there often use the cover of darkness to try to infiltrate Iraqi territory. Al-Qaim was the last Iraqi town to be freed from the Islamic State group in late 2017. But the terror group still holds areas across the border in Syria. Commander Saleh al-Yaqoubi shows us the closest IS position to Iraqi soil, less than 500 meters away.
This is the separation line, and the IS militants are in those residential houses over there. Thank God, since liberation there has been no breach of the border in this area.
The Iraqi border guard is equipped and trained by the United States. They use day and night cameras to monitor the border 24/7.
We do have frequent sightings, not always, but we mostly see them at night.
When they spot suspected militants, like in this recorded video, they notify coalition forces to launch preemptive cross-border strikes.
It depends on the way they move, whether they're moving in an offensive manner that suggests they intend to attack. If we see them armed, then according to these images, we will hit them with full force.
Despite efforts to seal the border, IS sleeper cells that have survived inside Iraq are still capable of carrying out guerrilla-style attacks on security forces. We are on patrol with the Iraqi army, another security actor in the Al-Qaim area. 1 year after liberation, this unit still conducts several raids per month to capture militants and weapons depots. They take us to a recently raided IS hideout, complete with propaganda pamphlets, metal pellets to build suicide vests, and a tunnel.
The IS group used this house to hide whenever surveillance or military aircraft came close. They'd disappear inside the tunnels. This is the tunnel inside the house. It goes on for several meters.
To find sleeper cells, the security forces rely on information from the local population.
In the beginning, there were some problems when we weren't well connected to the population. But then we were able to collect sufficient and good information.
Amid heavy military presence, it's unlikely that the IS group will make a comeback in Al-Qaim. But the amalgamation of competing security actors in itself is a source of instability.
شنو الموضوع قلبي شنو الموضوع؟
هو معلومة إنه قناط بالطريق مبلغين من قبل سيطرتكم صحيح هذه المعلومة؟
خويا طلع لي قوة ومسح المنطقة على السريع.
Ahmed Nasrallah commands Liwa al-Tufuf, one of several mostly Shiite paramilitary groups jointly known as the Popular Mobilization Forces, or PMF. Backed by Iran, they have a hostile relationship with US forces. We join the commander as he responds to a security incident near the American base.
One of our vehicles was close to the American base. A motorcycle approached it, opened fire, and then went back. So we're on our way to go search the area to prove that we're the ones in charge.
The commander accuses US forces of being responsible for the attack, an unsubstantiated claim, but one that highlights the depth of antagonism between the two sides.
Such attacks only ever come from the direction of the Americans. They do this to destabilize the region, so they can justify their continued presence here.
At the site of the incident, the commander inspects the targeted vehicle. The IS group has launched similar hit-and-run attacks in the past, though it's uncertain whether they are responsible this time. What is clear, however, is that a lack of communication between the PMF and US forces complicates efforts to secure the area.
We don't have any relation with the coalition forces, not near nor far. We never talk to them.
France 24 was unable to visit the American base in Al-Qaim. A spokesperson in Baghdad suggested that a lack of communication with the PMF didn't affect the fight against the IS group.
Well, everything the coalition does goes through the Iraqi security forces, which we consider the PMF under. If we see an opportunity to take out any Daesh fighters, we take them out. We have pretty complicated ISR assets above where we can see a lot of things. We know who's moving and where they're going to.
Such surveillance capabilities also allow the US to keep an eye on PMF movements across the border, where some of its units fight alongside Bashar al-Assad's government forces. As the battle against the IS group turns into a counterinsurgency, Tehran and Washington show no intention of yielding control of Iraq's borders. Should tensions between them escalate, Al-Qaim could easily turn into the flashpoint of another conflict.